Want to interact with us? Follow us on Twitter at the RCWR Show. The following is an Infinity One Productions presentation, keeping it honest, insightful, interactive. You're listening to the RCWR Show with Lee Sanders.
Without any further ado, let's jump right into it, man. I've been pumped up for this interview all week, man. Let's jump into it. So, our guest tonight, what can I say about him? You know, he knows a thing or two about football, having played linebacker position for the University of Tulsa before heading to the NFL to play for the Kansas City Chiefs, the AFL, and the CFL. He would take that experience and apply himself to the world of pro wrestling, having achieved great success in Ohio Valley Wrestling, quickly rising through the ranks as one of its breakout stars. He'd get the call up from WWE and made his debut, and it pretty much had came about on the revitalized ECW brand as he was feuding with Armando Estrada, Jack Swagger, Chavo Guerrero, Beam Neely, before moving up to the SmackDown brand to work with future WWE champions CM Punk and Jeff Hardy, just to name a few. He would take that experience from WWE back to the independent circuit, working at various promotions including World Wrestling Council, Urban Wrestling Federation, IWA Florida, where currently he's one half of the IWA Florida Tag Team Champions with Rico Suave. Last December, he made a successful debut at Extreme Rising's Unfinished Business pay-per-view, having defeated Homicide. Coming up on Saturday, February 8th, he returns to that promotion for their Black, Gold, and Extreme pay-per-view event as he takes on Luke Hawx. To talk more about that, please welcome the one and only Rich, the ultimate superstar Ortiz. Rich, how you doing, brother?
Hey, what's going on?
Hey, pretty good, man. Thank you so much for doing this for us and the listeners. Really means a lot. How was your weekend?
It was good. All was quiet. Just got a little bit of rowdy, 1 or 2 nights in there. Got some rest, and back to training, back to work, back at the grind.
And I know the feeling.
So,
It was pretty relaxful, actually. I got off work just in time before we got hit with the first snowstorm, and I pretty much have been snowed in ever since. Saw some good football games. I can't really complain, man.
hey, what's going on with that snow up there? I saw that they got some state emergency.
Yeah, it looks like as far as D.C., Maryland, Virginia goes, it looks like they got like a lot of schools closed right now, and they're talking about it's going to be freezing temperatures like -5, 15 degrees in various parts. It's really bad over here.
They're telling them not to park on the road because cars are losing control and just sliding in the cars.
Yeah, that sounds about right. Yeah, definitely. Yeah, some of those cars, they really shouldn't be on the road.
You definitely don't experience any of that in the Valley of the Sun out here in Arizona, that's for sure.
You are lucky, my friend. You are lucky. It's awesome that we're here tonight. Yeah, it's awesome that we're here chatting it up here tonight, man, because the timing is really perfect, as usually we kind of go a little bit all over the place on our Tuesday night shows. We're definitely going to talk about wrestling, but your background as a football player, I just had to pick your brain on this, man, and I think you see where I'm going. Of course, over the weekend, we saw the San Francisco 49ers lost to the Seattle Seahawks 17-23. Seahawks advanced to the Super Bowl to meet the white-hot Peyton Manning and the Denver Broncos in 2 weeks. But one of the biggest stories going on right now is what went down after the game, as Fox's Erin Andrews, for those of you that might not be aware of this, she went to Seahawks cornerback Richard Sherman for insight on the final play of the game, where he forced a tip that resulted in an interception, and that basically had sealed the deal to get their trip to the Super Bowl. Now, for you folks that didn't see the video, because it's like viral right now, you got to check it out. This man is cutting a promo like a mega heel wrestler, and I got the direct quote. He says, "I'm the best corner in the game. When you try me with a sorry receiver like Crabtree, that's the result you're gonna get. Don't you ever talk to me." My man is just screaming Rich into the mic like a madman. Andrews tries to ask him who he's talking about, and he screams Crabtree before ranting on and saying, "Don't open your mouth about the best or I'm going to shut it up real quick. LOB. Now, this is definitely one of the most bizarre post-game reactions I've seen in all my years of football. He would apologize. I want to make sure we stress this. He would apologize afterwards, but this came very late, like yesterday into today, and I think too much time has lapsed for that. Majority of the sports community feel like he conducted himself very tasteless, unsportsmanlike, as many are calling for him to not be allowed to play in the Super Bowl. Rich, you are a football player. What is going on in your mind when you see or you hear something like this? Did this guy go out of line?
Well, the first thing I'm thinking is there something personal between him and Crabtree? I don't know how many seasons went up, how many plays it's gone on, but somewhere in there, something was said personal. They're two superstar athletes. They're highly competitive. It's once in a lifetime opportunity chance to go to the Super Bowl. Everything has to be in such a line and everything. There's so much emotion, so much at stake, and there's somewhere in there somebody took the game to a personal level. And I mean, that's what some people play better at that level, some don't, whatever. I think, as a professional though, you got to hold yourself in a high regard, especially when you're playing in the NFL and you're on TV and you're in front of a lot of people. It's just that's where the apology comes in. I just think he had a human moment. He let his emotions get the best of him. He brought some personal battle that's going on the field into the post-game interview where emotions are still running high, and it just caught him slipping. And man, like you said, heel of the year promo.
Yes, indeed. I mean, it's very unfortunate that this happened because according to Sherman, it looks like he's now been receiving derogatory and racial comments since his lashing out. And as we all know, NFL Commissioner Gordell and the league, they do such a good job in the communities with programs like Play 60 while making football players, they're making the football players come off very approachable, very human, very down-to-earth, common everyday people, but also marketable at the same time. Do you feel Sherman was going to get this type of heat regardless, or if it was justified by him acting like a person of low intellect as he's viewed by millions of homes nationwide? And I want to stress, I say justified loosely, because the same folks that are pulling the race card and all that with him are probably the same ones that don't like President Obama being in the office. But at bare minimum, I'm sure many of those same folks would say he does come off as a nice guy. Not really so much the case for Sherman.
Sure. I think that's it's a matter of opinion and look at the facts. And like you said, these guys they are role models, and there is a level of responsibility that does come with the job. If you want to work for one of these big companies in the NFL, WWE, whatever, there's a sense of responsibility there. And, it's a shame, but, just like I know in your life experiences, a lot of time, whatever emotion you're putting out, it has kind of a boomerang effect and comes back good or bad. So I think it's just one of those cases of all that type of verbiage and energy going out. It kind of got the best caught him in a human moment, and you want to justify it or not. I mean, I think that's irrelevant. I think the point is hey, this dude messed up. He's apologized for it. We've all messed up. I mean, we can always bring the race card to anything if you want. We can bring any card you want to bring in the situation, but what is that going to help the situation? It's in the past. Like I said, it's apologize, move forward. But, come on, this is what media is all about, though, and stir up the pot, and only in America, brother.
Indeed. As we make our exit from...
It's definitely entertaining, though, and it gets people talking about it, and... I don't think that's the type of attention you really want to draw to it, especially an NFL team, and anyone conducting themselves like that as an employee and doing interviews like that, I don't think it's acceptable, even if you work for Circle K and you're getting interviewed.
Right. As we make our exit from this, I definitely want to pick your brain. If you were the Seattle Seahawks owner and chairman, Paul Allen, or head coach Pete Carroll, would you bench Sherman for the Super Bowl game, fine him, both, discipline him maybe next season, or just not do anything?
You got to have rules in place. But ultimately, as a team, being under the tutelage of John Elway, I played for Elway, and he's a champion, and he knows how to put together alpha male, these strong types of leaders and have everyone working as a unit cohesively as a champion and getting the best out of you. And it's just however you really want to conduct your business. Are you in it for the money? Are you in it for the championship? You have set of rules and someone breaks them. I mean, as a coach, do you have make sure everyone follows in, or do you let some of your franchise players slip? How are you running your business? Mm-hmm. What is your main motive? Because I know a lot of these operations, money is the main thing. Of course, business, you get into it is for money. But, I just, as an athlete, there's I always am more of a fan of the guy who's trying to win a championship in there, because that's what it was all about when I played for LA, and I know that's how they're doing it up there, and how they're doing it at Seattle. I'm sure they're going for a championship, so you got to have some sort of discipline in it. But are you going to affect everything that's culminating? No, I think you deal with it in the off season, deal with it in fines. You have the guy publicly apologize, but you don't let it affect your team. But yet you still don't let, because he's still got to be punished. You got to hold him accountable. And anyways, you got to go do that for the public, because the public wants to see that anyways. If he wants to stay baby face, mm-hmm. But if you don't want to admit your faults and all that, you can cut another heel promo and go heel.
Right. On a lighter note, who you like in?
How much money does he have? Does he want to go baby face, or has he got enough money? Is he at a comfortable point in his career? He's ready for his heel turn,
Right. Yeah. Heel promo of the year, man. Seriously. Who you like for the Super Bowl, though?
Like I said, I'm going to have favoritism with the Broncos just because I worked for LA. I played for Elway. I warm up catching his balls before the game. I've got a ring, in the Arena Football League up there, and like I said, it's maybe a little biased because I lived there for 3 years, played for the man, worked for the man, and I know what he's capable of, and I always approach it. But once you get to the playoffs, look at all these teams. Look how much talent they have. Look at the coaching. Look at the way they've evolved the game, and it's changed. But that's another hat off to Elway, and he's not only done it himself back to back, which is something no one will probably ever do again. We've seen it a couple times, but now he's coaching. So, but you'll see the Mannings playing that same kind of role when they're done with their career. So, and I think it's good for the game. It's good for the fans, and it's good for money organizations. So, but there's your question, Elway, the Broncos.
Yeah, I'm with you all the way. Peyton Manning has just been having a phenomenal season. And, yeah, you got to give John Elway a lot of credit for putting all the pieces together. I mean, they did good last year. It seems like it was a good learning process. They took what went down in the offseason, what they learned from last year, and here they are. They're at the dance. I'm with you all the way. And I can say that unbiased. It's definitely going to be the Broncos all the way, man. Switching gears up a little bit, I remember reading a transcript of an interview that you gave a couple of years back where you talked about your WWE release, how you didn't see it coming and all. If you don't mind, could you recall for our listeners how did it come about, who gave you the news, and your mindset at the time as you were taking all the info? Because for me, I'm still a little bit shocked when I hear that, you were released. I mean, it's been a couple of years now, but it's still kind of shocking to me considering how good you looked on television. You had merchandise going on. You looked as if you met WWE's age demographics. You really complimented the hell out of the characters that they got currently in the product, like the Fandangos, the Brodus Clays, Xavier Woods.
Sure, it kind of seems like that. It was kind of along those lines before, like you're saying. But it was a spin-off of an original character that I had just messed around with, like alter ego in the football locker room when I was actually in the CFL, and flirting around with Stampede Wrestling over there, and getting some interviews with Stu Hart and talking with him, and watching The Rock. I was rooming with his roommate from the University of Miami down there in CFL. The Rock just left the CFL. He was in Florida. I said, I'm going to follow this guy's path. He's kind of leading the charge here. But when I got there, I got shot up right away. And, within like 8 months, I decided when I was 10 years old, I wanted to be a pro football player. I wanted to be a wrestler. And when I retired from football, I figured go out of high, winning the world championship with Elway up there in Denver. And then I just packed up my life that I had and relocated to OVW, and I said, I'm going to sleep on the doorstep, whatever I got to do, go to every single class, every workout, every single house show, everybody's schedule. And that's what I did, and just taking it all in. And within the first 3 months, like a blessing, I got signed, which it's so hard to get signed in that company. And you see guys been working their butt off, like a gentleman I'm going to work for, Luke Hawks, who's been working on the Indies 13 to 15 years, beating the likes of Stevie Richard, Matt Hardy, Jerry Lynn, all these guys, but yet he hasn't been on the roster. And then you have a guy coming out and, hasn't been in the business, but, gets signed in 3 months, and then next thing you know, he's on television within, 8 months, have ever taken an arm drag or doing a body slam. It just, and so, but, that was a quick shot, and sometimes, everything's a test, I believe, and the character started going in a little different direction, and, one day I know Michael Hayes wanted to make me a Kid Rock of the WWE, kind of go that route with music, and, because he knows I have a bit of incline for music also, and but it was kind of in tie with the other character that I originally came up with on the Indies, Atlas to Bone, and but it got turned, and I think at one point, I realized that this was the end, was like you're getting choke slammed by the big collie, because it's kind of symbolic if you've studied tape, and you see him sometimes where he gives tombstone pile driver, and that's it, But big collie took me up about 16 stories high, threw me out, actually broke my back, and I was out for a long time. Actually, we tried to go wrestle over there in Puerto Rico right away, but I had to take time off because just the hip and back, I got some cracks all in there. But that's what this whole thing's about. I didn't see anything coming, and it's not about, it's about getting up, man. How many times you gonna keep getting up? It's who I am, and it's what I am, and it's my story, and I don't have any hard feelings for it. It's all blessings. It all makes you who you are, and but to see it coming, no, I didn't see it coming. But what could I see coming? You've been in the business for 8 years, kid. Come on, your ears are wet, green, all that good stuff. You don't even know how to take this or that. There's so many different levels to the psychology, and there's just a lot of stuff. And it's just like any other trade. It's experience and time, and I don't care whether it's a martial arts, whether it's football, whether it's pro wrestling, whether it's chess. It's time. It's just spending time with that and experience. And so I question the move, being moved up right away, because I just know as an athlete, especially I had devoted 22 years to something previously, and then now you want to put me on the highest level platform in the world with 8 months. Fine, I'm not going to argue with anything, because this is, I'm just grateful to be here, but I would like to hold my skill because just the pride I have for my workmanship. But that's my story. That's how everything happened. It didn't come with a twist, yeah, but this is, I'm living the dream, and this is how I saw honing my craft by sparring, fighting people, doing these international jiu-jitsu tournaments. Being proud that I do have a football background of the NFL and in college, and earn my way to pay it through school. Proud of this stuff, and just still studying the professional wrestling and working these indie promotions because of the passion, the commitment I have, not to do with anything with money, not to do with anything with the WWE, but just this relationship I have with myself, with my workmanship, and then the fans, and anyone who's a committed fan, a passionate fan, that they'll understand that, and they'll be able to see that, and that's why I really look forward to Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania on February 8th against Luke Hawk, because I know he ain't scared to go, and he's got a lot in the tank, he's got a lot to prove, and I just have a feeling somebody might die that night.
I definitely want to talk a little bit more about that match coming up. Let's talk about after your WWE release. I thought something that's very interesting. You ended up staying and living with sober, clean Scott Hall for several months. How did the opportunity to come about to live with the legend, and what keys to success were you able to take from him and apply to your career?
Well, here it is. I'm being released from the WWE, and I always said, I was up there, I said, man, I just wish I had like those old timers had. They they all got to ride with somebody and talk wrestling 24/7, and you know, and after the match, right away, like Scott would tell me, we talk about it, and that's when you really learn what's fresh in your head. Or like Dick Murdoch, he'd be yelling it to me out there in Japan. No, you dumbass! Ring his arm, body slap. You know, I can tell you some stories, but here I am getting released from WWE, and here I am living my dream now. I get what I asked for. I'm getting one of these old time, like you said, Hall of Famers. Like one of the guys who changed the game, and he's sober, and we're working together on the indies, and I'm living in his house, and I'm training in his gym, and we're just breaking tapes down, and we're talking psychology, we're watching Elvis, and he's breaking down all different entertainment things, and talk about, you know, different ways in psychology, the way Hogan worked and Michaels, and then, but the way we had another advantage was now we're getting to watch these tapes, and you know, big favorite wrestler of mine to watch was Dick Murdoch, and I never knew Scott was trained by Dick Murdoch out there in Japan, and man, these stories you tell me are hilarious, but I had ordered a bunch of DVDs, every one of Dick Murdoch's matches on DVD from Japan, just his whole career, and we used to sit around and watch those a lot, and then he was kind of doing the same thing what Dick Murdoch was doing to him with me on the indies, and he would just, it was real raw. He just had the camera there, and he'd be yelling at me, you know, "Oh, our ringer, you dumbass," you know, and but yeah, that was a dream come true, man, to definitely be in that situation and be able to get groomed for a year, you know, living with Scott. And I'm forever grateful for Scott, and, you know, my prayers are always with him, man.
Tell me, what was it like living with them?
And good luck with his boy, too, you know, because he's on the road now with his boy, and
yeah,
that's
Cody.
That sounds right to me, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah. What was it like living with Scott Hawk? Because I love it for you. I love it for you to walk the folks through it, because it just seems like it's a lot of fun. Because I had an opportunity to chat with him on Skype last year, and it was so funny, man, because I had a handful of questions that I was going to ask him. And as soon as I get the call, true story, I never really told this before to our listeners. As soon as I get the call from him, he's like, "Hey, yo, what's up, Big Lee?" And at that point, I just like tossed the questions out, and I just had a good time with him. He just really comes off so damn carefree, no worry in the world, but most importantly, very happy.
Yeah, man, and that's good. Anytime any of us can sound like that, don't you think?
Yeah.
Yeah, you know, living with Scott, like I said, man, it was... I'm very grateful for it, man. I really am, and I've got nothing to say about, you know. I'll tell you what, you know, he lent his place to me. You know, funny story how I met Scott was I was in the grocery store up there, whatever it's called, Winn-Dixie or something like that. And he's standing in line, and I've got a bunch of people. He said to me, he goes, "Don't you think you got too many carbs in your cart?" And I look back, I'm thinking to myself, I'll be damned, this is Scott Hall right here. And he says, "You one of the boys?" And he says, "You look like one of the boys." And I said, "Yeah, man." I said, "What's going on?" I said, "Man, I'm just living down the street at Gerald Briscoe's place. You know, just got released over there at WWE. I'm just living the dream, you know." And he says, "Yeah, man, I'm trying to get healthy here and eat good too, and get back, you know, and get things moving here." And you know, he said, "Hey, I got an extra room." He said, "You want to come down? I'm just saying, train a little bit. We can watch some tapes." I said, "Man, this is a prayer answer right here." And which was funny because he's the same way it happened to him. He was in the grocery store, and you know, I believe Barry Windham. You know, he ran into Barry Windham in the, you know, grocery store. So it's kind of funny, some of the parallels there with the Dick Murdoch, and then also, you know, how he ran into one of the boys in the grocery store and took him in, and you know, I was really grateful. And like I said, any wrestler, anyone who wants to be in the business, you can be living with any of these guys that has changed history for the business and, has made some big waves. It's definitely a blessing and a dream come true for sure.
We all know we got the WWE Hall of Fame coming up very shortly. A lot of fans are hoping that Scott can get in this class, as many feel he deserves it, and whether it be as a solo act or maybe part of the NWO. How much would it mean to you to see your good friend go into the Hall of Fame?
Man, I mean, that's what you strive for. You want, not only do you want to be that world champion with that championship ring standing on top, raising your hand, ultimately, when it's said and done, you do want to be in the Hall of Fame because now you're getting that recognition by the entire industry, and most importantly, your co-workers who, they put as much commitment, passion into their product that they're doing, and so if they're recognizing that, man, that's really deep and heartfelt because this is your life. This is what you eat, sleep, and do, and to be recognized in the Hall of Fame would be really cool, man. It definitely would be really cool.
Yeah, right on. Speaking of keys to success, accessing wealth of knowledge for success, we highlighted earlier that you are part of the tag team champions with Rico Suave, a.k.a. Mr. Hardcore, Julio Estrada. What's it like teaming up with the 18-year veteran of the World Wrestling Council promotion and having all that access to great wrestling knowledge? I mean, you talk about the years of wrestling knowledge this man has from his family, as I think his dad, Jose Estrada. He was a wrestler, not to mention Suave. He's managed Abdullah the Butcher, Hannibal, Black Pain. Very valuable, yeah?
Yeah, absolutely. It's, and that's kind of like when we get back to where, when I was talking about with football being in for 22 years, getting into business, almost like the kiss of death they're trying to do to you, it feels like, and you're going, whoa, pump the brakes, because these are the experiences, these are the mentorships, these are the stories you talk about. You go in the matches, now you're going to a different territory. You're trying to simulate the territories to get different styles and to learn different things because we don't have those anymore. And so you kind of got to create them in your own way. And there's that different, that south of the border style, brother, and it's sweet. And they've got real passionate fans down there, and it's a real good time. Whether you're in Puerto Rico, do a Puerto Rico style, or it's the Lucha Libre down in Mexico over here, south of Arizona. It's really good stuff, and the guys have been, like you said, been doing it for generations and generations. I mean, come on, how many secrets are there, and how many little tidbits, and just and it's an honor and a privilege to be able to work with these guys. I mean, they dedicated generations to the business and to the fans, and I think it's really good anytime you get to work with those type of people.
This question just came to us via email. It's from one of our listeners by the name of Steve. He wants to know, with the new year coming in, is there any chance we'd possibly see you pop up at some point in TNA or ROH? Thank you for that question, Steve. I think that's a good question. I remember a little while back we kind of heard a little bit of rumblings about TNA possibly eyeballing you. Has there been any conversations with either of those promotions?
Yeah, the thing right now is, my loyalty right now is with Extreme Rising, and I signed a little contract with them, and I wouldn't want to be any other place right now. If anybody's ever been in that environment, been in that 2300 arena down at Bingo Hall, those fans, you want to talk about passion, you want to talk about commitment to 30 years. People still in the same place. They know the lineage, the history. That crowd is so hot, and it's such a special environment, so nostalgic, and it really did something for my soul when I went down there in front of those fans and to wrestle down there in Philly. And I can't even explain it. You have to go down there to witness it, the electricity that's in the air, and it's really done something. I believe it's altered the path of my life. I really do, and I'm chomping at the bit to get down there to Pittsburgh because, like I told you, man, somebody might die in this match. But you take it to the level that Extreme Rising takes it to, because these are all the black sheep. These are all the people no one believes or nothing. None of these organizations accepted them. The outcasts, and you've got kind of the fans. I mean, they're kind of outcasts too, and it's just a real truthful, straight up, no punches are pulled kind of environment, man, and it's put up or shut up in there, and I love it, man, because it brings that realism back to sports entertainment that all these other businesses, promotions are missing. It's pro wrestling, it's Broadway with bystands, but brother, this stuff is real, man. The stuff we're doing is on cement. It's through wood tables, steel chairs, barbed wire, flaming fists. I mean, it's the most crazy, outlandish stuff you've ever witnessed, and it makes it real. And a lot of guys have passed away that have been in that promotion, and this isn't a promo. That's real talk.
Right. And let's follow up on that, because you're going to be taking on Luke Hawx, a man we're very familiar with, because we had interviewed Matt Hardy last month as he was battling him at the Unfinished Business pay-per-view event. And now here we are. It's your turn. You're getting an opportunity to step up to the plate and take on what is arguably one of the most dangerous men in wrestling right now in a couple of weeks. What has been your preparation going into this match been like?
Well, let me ask you a question. What is your take on Luke Hawx, and because he's kind of a king of the indies, isn't he?
Yeah.
The underground, isn't he?
Yeah, king of the underdogs, yeah.
He's got a lot of respect. Doesn't he?
Yeah.
He's earned it, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, and he's beaten a lot of guys. Jerry Lynn, right?
Mm-hmm.
Richards is the champ. Matt Hardy. He's beaten all these guys that have been champs. So what is your take on Luke Hawx?
That's I tell you what, for you, that's to get a victory over him. That would not only be a huge upset, but talk about really putting yourself on the map in Extreme Rising.
Okay, now let me stop you there. Okay, so you're saying upset, okay, and you're asking what I'm doing in preparation. Now, I'm a double gold for jiu-jitsu on an international level.
Mm-hmm.
I'm a world international champion. I double gold just this last year in jiu-jitsu, okay? Also, like I was telling you before, 22 years of football. I've been doing amateur MMA. It's judo. On state, I won all these state judo. So preparation, I'm just being me, man, just being the athlete that I am, just honoring God, the gift that he's given me, giving him the glory, brother. I'm just banging it out every day, bro, I don't know when my last breath's going to be, and so I'm just getting it in. Preparation, this is my life, this is me, this is what I do. It doesn't matter Lou Hawx or anybody. You see, life couldn't keep me down. So you say, I'm the underdog in this match. What makes you think if life couldn't keep me down, that Luke Hawx is going to keep me down?
That's a very damn good, valid point. You got me on that one.
Now, let me ask you this. So if he beat Jerry Lynn, Stevie Richards, now all these ECW champions, all these people, what does that make me if I beat Luke Hawx?
I don't think it's about respect, but I think it's more along the lines of, hey, this guy beat Luke Hawx. This is something right here. I think it would just be awe-inspiring.
Well, there you go. Even more motivation. Not that I need my competition is with myself, brother. Just like you, just like every other person. When you get up out of the bed in the morning.
Mm-hmm. I feel you on that.
I'm just glad I get an opponent like Luke Hawx, because this is kind of something I've been praying for, was having an opponent like this, because I need to be able to have a match like this with somebody who's willing to go, who thinks they know me, or they know where I'm going to go with this match. They that's Luke Hawx. I just saw him cutting a promo. He's got his shirt off. He's angry. There's graffiti in the background. I'm like, what does this dude got his shirt off from Kansas spray paint for? yelling over here. It sounds like to me he's just trying to express his frustration.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
He's one of those life isn't fair. He's one of those life isn't fair kind of guys. So I had 15 years. The WWE life isn't fair. It's either you or me. Come on, you're standing there. How many people are going to cut you off? It's become that kind of world.
Yeah, I know exactly what you mean. Yeah.
When you're dealing with sports entertainment and you're dealing with all these other professional wrestlers, I mean, it's dog eat dog. It's like they say, quote unquote, a Shark Tank.
Right. By any chance, have you spoke with Matt as far as maybe having him watch your back? Because I'm just going off of some of the last couple of run-ins we've been seeing.
Watch my back, dude. Watch my back. Did you see what happened? They all got took out by Luke Hawks and Homicide in a match. And that same night, February or December
28th.
Yeah, I tapped Homicide out in the middle of the ring. No gimmicks, no cheating, just straight up tapped him out in the middle of the ring. And he's one of the dudes that took out Matt. So, I knew Matt from the WWE. He understands how the game is a dog-eat-dog, especially around extreme riding. You don't know what, so I just thought it was in his best interest if, we made a little business arrangement, and I watched his back since I already tapped out Homicide earlier that night. Kind of made sense. You just watch this Luke. I didn't know Luke at the time, but, he's a coward just like Homicide with this little cockroach, trying to run in and cheat and steal a win. I mean, once again, the world isn't fair, so now he wants to cheat. And so anyways, I thought it was a good business opportunity for myself. Me knowing Matt from back in the day, I chatted with him, and we made a little arrangement. Now it looks like he's overbooked himself, so he's not even going to be there. But it doesn't matter because the whole emphasis of business is shifted over to Luke Hawks, and I'm going to take him out. Here we come, Pittsburgh, PA, February 8th. It's on like Donkey Kong, brother.
That's what's up. What other appearances and events do you have coming up? And let the good folks know how they can stay in contact with you.
Well, after February 8th, we're going to again return back to Philly, but I'm going to focus on going to the Pan American Championship, the Pan Am Games, and get myself another quick gold medal. That's the thing, too. I just felt like a lot of these characters nowadays on television and stuff were just fake, and you could see right through them. I want it, me as a fan, I want a character that's real. I want the real deal. I want a dude that's doing it for real. I don't want some phony character. You know what I mean? I want the real badass. I want this guy posing. As far as I see it, 99% of are posers, So I'm going to focus on the Pan Ams after this, and then back to Extreme Rising. That's where I'm at. That's where I'm laying it down. I'm going for the gold. I'm going to lay my stake here in sports entertainment. I call it professional wrestling. I'm a wrestler. It's what I do. And, like I said, it's on, and I'm looking forward to 2014. But just one thing at a time, brother. Pittsburgh, PA, February 8th. Come on, let's not get ahead of ourselves. Elway taught me that one, brother.
Nothing wrong with that. How can folks stay connected with you, man? I just now found you on Twitter, and I've actually been looking for you all day.
Yeah, man. I've been kind of, I just been loving just training and just kind of been hanging on the low, kind of just been getting under the radar. I thought it'd be good just to kind of get off the map a little bit and really just work on a product that no one else really could because of the freedom I would have to be able to work on my product here. And I've been kind of trying to lay low, but now, since I've signed with Extreme Rising, it seems like everything is getting stirred up real fast. I've only been there for 1 week, but you can hit me up on Twitter. They just put up an account, Beast Ortiz, at Twitter. And then my real name is Rich Young, and you can hit me up on Facebook right there. And those are the two things I have up and running at this moment.
Okay, awesome, man. Well, hey, look.
You can drop a line on their page.
Yeah, definitely need to do that. Make sure we put that out there again. Twitter, Beast Ortiz, or you can hit him up on Facebook at Rich Young. All right. And, I want to say to you, bro, before we wrap this up, as we always tell our guests, anytime you want to come on back, man, you want to talk Extreme Rising, because we've definitely been trying to make it be our business to cover that promotion every month, or you want to talk about something non-wrestling, bro, you are more than welcome to come on back. We'd love to have you. Make sure you stay in contact with us, as anything we can do to help you out, we'd be more than happy to.
Well, let's let the fans decide, what they want to talk about, and then let's talk about it. Let's talk with some fans too, and let's get this really interactive, and let's chop it up. And once again, it's just part of living the dream here, man. And I appreciate you guys having me on, and I look forward to talking with you guys again. I really appreciate you guys are doing good work.
Oh, we appreciate you, man. Thank you so much. You enjoy the rest of the week, man. Be safe.
All right, get out there, brother.
All right now. Bye. Ladies and gentlemen, the one and only Rich the Beast, a.k.a. the ultimate superstar Ortiz. It's a tongue twister right there. It was a great interview. Hope you guys appreciate it. Well, you heard him put out the challenge there. He's definitely interested in coming on back to the show, but I think he has a very good point. We should make it be up to you, the listeners, to decide what you would like for us to talk about. As you heard in that first half, we were able to just go all over the place on football there. So you know how we like to do over here on this show. We like to touch a little bit of everything. So for those of you listening, definitely you can send a couple of tweets his way, or you can hit him up on Facebook. You can definitely hit us up on Twitter. Also on Facebook. We're pretty much everywhere. If you guys been listening to us long enough, you know exactly how you can go about finding us. And hell, maybe next go around we can do something totally different but unique and totally kick ass for you guys. I want to take a brief commercial break. This is actually a very short show tonight. I only wanted to come on here and do the interview with Rich. When we get back from this commercial break, I want to just give you guys some quick programming notes, because we have a very busy week going on in wrestling. This is like night 2 of 8, as we're going to be on for the next consecutive 8 nights covering all things wrestling. A lot of stuff going on. We'll take a quick commercial break. We'll come right back, and I'll give you guys those programming notes as we get ready to wrap up the show. You're checking out a special Tuesday night edition of the RCWR show, January 21st, 2014. We'll be coming right back, folks. Do hang tight.
If you enjoyed our coverage, be sure to check us out every Tuesday night at 11 p.m. Eastern at blogtalkradio.com/the RCWR show for all the latest in wrestling news and beyond.
All right, Tuesday night edition of the RCWR show. Your host right here, Black Avenger, a.k.a. the Black Azrael, Lee Sanders. Pleased to meet you. Nice to know me. All right, so one more time, I can't stress it enough. Give our good buddy Rich Ortiz a follow on Twitter. You can find him at Beast Ortiz. One more time, that's Beast Ortiz on Twitter. You can also follow him on Facebook at Rich Young. One more time, Facebook, Rich Young. And definitely show your support. And also, let's not forget, we got the Extreme Rising promotion, as he was talking about. It's going to be coming up on Saturday, February 8th. And I mean, just look at the card so far that's going to be coming up here. We have Spray Paint versus Straight Edge, Facade versus M-Dog 20, Matt Cross. That should be a really good matchup. We got Modern Warfare, which is what we were just talking about earlier. Luke Hawks, he's going to be taking on Rich Ortiz. We got a tag team battle, as Blackout will be taking on the Hit Squad. We got a Falls Count Anywhere match. Rhino taking on Devin Storm. That should be a damn good matchup right there. 2 wrestling veterans right there. And for the Extreme Rising World title, it doesn't get any better than this. Stevie Richards defending against the homicidal, genocidal Sabu. And that's going to be an insane match right there. Tickets are on sale right now. You can head on over to extremerising.com for all the information. One more time, extremerising.com for ticket info. Hey, if you're not going to be able to see that event live, have no fear. You will be able to catch that on iPay-per-view. Once again, for all the information, head over to extremerising.com. RCWR.com. And as we had said earlier, Extreme Rising is definitely a promotion that we're trying to make be our business to follow more on a regular basis, as they're now going to be having a weekly TV series that'll be airing in the East Coast. There's a lot of affiliates all around that surrounding area that's going to be picking it up and everything. So we look very forward to talking all things Extreme Rising with you all in the coming weeks. And we really hope that you guys had appreciated that interview. You know, our week of wrestling coverage, it continues, man. We are doing 8 nights in a row of shows covering all things wrestling and beyond. And tomorrow we're going to be coming on at 9 p.m. Eastern to give a special WWE Royal Rumble pay-per-view preview as we bring out another installment of our Call That Match series. Yours truly is going to be previewing the Royal Rumble card, and I'll also be offering match predictions on who I think should be walking out victorious. I'm going to approach it from the booking standpoint. Those of you not familiar with our Call That Match series, you'll definitely appreciate it. I'll let you guys know certain angles you can expect to play out in key matches, so make sure you check that out. That's going to be this Wednesday, 9 p.m. Eastern, right here, blogtalkradio.com. It's going to be coming on right after Main Event on the Ion channel, so check that out. And then Thursday night, you know, our talk of Extreme Rising, it continues as we welcome the Lonesome One. That's right, Jay Bradley. He joins us to talk about his time in TNA Wrestling, OVW, coming on back to Extreme Rising. That's going to be a very solid interview, folks. You guys will be able to catch that at a special start time, as it's going to be airing at 7 p.m. Eastern. I repeat, that's going to be 7 p.m. Eastern on Blog Talk Radio. So make sure you check that out. TNA Impact Wrestling fans, have no fear. You guys will definitely get your TNA Impact fix, as we'll be covering fallout from the continuation of the TNA Genesis free pay-per-view event. This is part 2 of 2, so make sure you join us for that Genesis coverage. That's going to be exclusively on our YouTube channel. However, we will have a download be available for you all on our SoundCloud page. And then also, we have, Friday night, we're going to be covering fallout from the Shine 16 iPay-per-view event from Ybor City, Florida. Check that out. Of course, we got the weekend edition of the RCWR show. Sunday, our Royal Rumble post show. Monday night, the aftermath of WWE Raw / the Royal Rumble. So we got a very busy week coming up for you guys. Do hope you're able to check out all those great episodes. A lot of information to process for some of you guys. We probably are giving you so much information. You guys are like, woof, have no fear. We'll friendly remind you during the course of the week. All right, that's going to do it. For those of you that's going to be looking for this on the downloads, give me about, I would say, 90 minutes. I'm going to remix this for you guys, upload the original audio. You guys will really appreciate it. If you guys want better sound quality episodes and all that, you're going to be able to get this interview on our SoundCloud page just like that. If you haven't followed us on SoundCloud yet, you really should. Show your support, because we aren't making a dime off of producing original remix sound quality episodes on that profile page. We are just doing this out of love to you guys for all the great support you've been able to continue to show to us. So if you haven't followed us yet on SoundCloud, very easy to do. You can do it with your Twitter, you can do it with your Facebook. I believe you could even do it with your Google Plus. It's very easy to sign up so that you can follow us. Only takes a couple of seconds. So hit us up at soundcloud.com/the RCWR show. All right, boys and girls, that's going to do it. Until I hear from you all Wednesday night, 9 p.m. Eastern, right here for our WWE Royal Rumble discussion. Everybody be safe, be kind to one another. Take care.